Welcome back to the show, everybody. Well, I think we're all trying to get on board with the green movement more and more, but there's a lot of education to be done. Some people need to learn quite a bit. There's so much information out there. Well, mark your calendars for April 11th because there's a great Green Wellness Expo being put together where it's going to be a one-stop place to go and learn. And joining us to tell us what's planned as well as educate us further is Dr. Natalie Belchamp, who is co-founder of the Green Wellness Expo, and David Chernushenko, who is a green economy educator. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for being here. Well, Dr. Natalie, everybody knows you're no stranger to this show with your fantastic monthly segments. Tell us a little bit about the Green Wellness Expo that you're co-founder of and what people can expect.
This is our 4th year, and I started this by myself 4 years ago. And the first 2 years were strictly wellness, and then my friend Deborah McDonald and I joined force, and she brought in the green because they go together, right? You know, the choices that you make in your lifestyle are going to impact the environment. So it is an East End event, and the reason I did that is because we feel left out in Orleans oftentimes. So I said, we got to do something because I find that a lot of my patients are not even aware of what's available. They'll ask me, oh, do you know a good naturopath, a good acupuncturist? Where can I go for this and that? So I figured let's do this, and it's been awesome. And every year we're doing something a little bit different. So David's going to be speaking as well, and he's going to be talking about his movie. So I'll let him explain that part.
Yeah, David, we want to talk about, first of all, you're an energy and green economy expert. I think what intrigues me most about that is green economy. How would you describe the green economy to people exactly?
Well, I've been trying to find titles for myself that didn't use the word environmentalist, just because what does that mean? We all want to protect the environment, but how and what to do? And what I've been focusing on particularly is trying to counter the myth that, well, we would do good things for the environment, but it's going to hurt the economy. We're going to lose jobs. That is not true, and I've been trying to demonstrate the many ways in which we can create jobs or make existing jobs better, healthier, by taking the so-called green focus, and hence, you know, my focus on that idea of a green economy. What would it look like? How do we move in that direction? And then particularly energy is I've been fascinated with energy for a long time. I'm not sure exactly why, but part of it is that there is a connection between the literal energy we get when we plug into a socket or we turn the ignition in our car and our own energy. Right. What choices do we make in our lives that are empowering and which are disempowering? Getting energy from far away, fuel from, what was it yesterday, a Chinese freighter ran aground on the Great Barrier Reef, you know, oil that we know, I wish we didn't have to do that. What if we could, A, use less energy and therefore, you know, have less demand for harmful forms of energy, but maybe even generate some of our own? I find that those are empowering ideas, and so that's
you're obviously an educator yourself. I mean, just listening to you, you have a way of delivering your information. I mentioned at the top about this being an expo where people can go and learn more. What do you think, why is it so important that people start educating themselves?
All kinds of reasons. There is the idea that we can protect the environment. There's no such place as the environment. We're all in it. I like to use the term our environment.
Right.
There's a very strong connection between our own health and the health of our environment and the health of the economy and the health of our environment. But what does that mean for an individual every day? It's all sorts of choices about the furniture we buy and the gases that may or may not be coming out of them, not to mention who made it and how, the body care products we use, our toothpaste, to our home cleaners, our modes of transportation, and all the rest. A lot of people are overwhelmed because it is so big. Because I just listed off there for you, 10 different things,
that people don't even think about. I think,
and it's overwhelming for people. I think.
Because it is so overwhelming, there are kind of my top 3 obstacles of why people aren't acting. First of all, it's too big. Where do I start?
Right.
Then, well, take that little step, change a light bulb. Oh, why bother? That's so small, it wouldn't make any difference after all, would it? And finally, why should I do it if you're not doing it?
Yes.
My neighbor's driving an SUV, so why should I change my car? Right. The Chinese are using lots of energy, so why should Canada? And I try to counter each of these myths by showing how, let's do it together. Let's start gradually. Let's support each other. It's not about finger pointing and lecturing. And we all have to do it. The Chinese are going to have to pull up their socks, and we'll pull up ours, and it doesn't do any good for you to be pointing fingers at someone else or at your neighbor. Start at home. And finally, reap the rewards of that. Reap the personal rewards of that. Yes, we can talk about money savings from using less energy and that sort of thing, but it gets down to something much more basic about wellness here, which is if you are doing things that you feel are right, and right for you, not David Suzuki and Al Gore watching me,
right,
right for you, there is an empowering sense that we get out of that. You feel better. Whereas when we do things that we know weren't right, doesn't matter if nobody else knows it, we know it. Right. And that brings us down. So I adopted this motto for myself, which is living lightly, and my website, livinglightly.ca, to try and push the idea of have some fun doing this. Don't beat yourself up over it. Make it an empowering experience.
And I imagine the film that you're going to be presenting at the expo and the film you're working on now probably tackles a lot of these subjects that you're talking about, correct?
Yeah, definitely. The first film, which came out about 2 years ago now, called Be the Change, we'll be showing that one. It's all filmed in Ottawa. And what I tried to do in that film is just show your neighbors and mine. Typical people, a few cases you might say not so typical, but they're there in your own neighborhood, to make our new heroes people who've been trying to live more lightly for longer than it has been chic to do.
Yeah, exactly.
To do
fashionable and trendy.
And it's disempowering when wealthy, famous people do stuff and we all go, wow, that's great. But it has no meaning to us. When it's your ordinary neighbor doing it, then you think, oh, if they can do it,
So
maybe I can too.
And make some of these
that's what
small
I'm trying to do.
changes like you were saying
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
This is great. Obviously, just listening to you, you're going to have such a wealth of knowledge at the expo, and we certainly thank you for taking time to chat with us today. We really appreciate it. And
Thanks,
Dr.
Dana.
Nally, it's great to see you as well. We'll see lots more of you. You
Yes.
bring some different guests that are
Yes.
going to be there, right? Okay, great. Want to tell everybody that it's all happening on April 11th. Okay, you can find out more information at greenwellnessexpo.ca. Lots of amazing speakers like David. He's going to be there speaking. He's going to be showing his movies, and he's got a new movie coming out as well that he'll tell you about. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with a wonderful performance by Samantha Testa. Don't go away.